If the moment you clicked this video, your heart gave a small ache and a cool breeze seemed to move through your throat, treat that as a signal, not a coincidence. A door is cracking open inside you. It doesn't swing with noise. It opens with a very small command. It's time to end something that has gone on too long. You didn't come here to repeat an old story. You came to close a cycle. What's a cycle? It's a recurring loop of behaviors, emotions, and beliefs, sometimes carried across generations the way we argue, and then go silent the way we apologize, instead of saying no, the way we spend guilt as currency to be accepted. These loops run so smoothly, we mistake them for personality. But look deeper and you'll find unconscious agreements, contracts you don't remember signing. What contract is still spending your life force today? Let's name a few ideas simply, not academically. Persona, the mask you wear to face the world. The approved version of you. Polite, useful, laughing in the right places. Shadow, the parts left off-stage, feelings, desires, strength, even justified anger that you were trained to hide. They don't vanish. They move to the basement and start flipping switches. Complex and emotion-charged knot around a theme. Mother, father, money, abandonment. Touch it and you overreact like someone pressed a bare nerve. When the persona is too tight, the shadow too hungry, and the complex too sensitive, the cycle spins. You do again what you swore you'd never do. Which one of these is steering your week? You've felt it. Late at night, a tiny text lands and your whole body arms for defense. A call from your mother makes your chest feel like armor. A compliment turns into pressure to perform the good child. When the unconscious goes unseen, we call it fate. When we dare to look at it, Jung calls it individuation. No stadium lights, just a small room where you sit down, breathe, and tell the truth. What would change if you gave yourself 10 quiet minutes tonight? Here's a coffee-length story. Thanksgiving. Everyone circles the table. An uncle retells the old story about the overly sensitive kid. The room chuckles. You chuckle too because your persona knows how to keep the peace. Down in the belly, your shadow stirs anger, sadness, and a loyal urge to protect that child you. After dinner, your mom, hands in the sink, drops. You know they're just joking. Don't make it a thing. The rejected complex lights up. You nod, fold yourself smaller, promise not to be too much. In the car, you go quiet and vow next time will be different. A year later, same scene. The cycle closes. On the third year, when the story starts again, you lay a hand on the table and say gently, I know everyone means well, but that story isn't funny for me anymore. The room hesitates. Your heart hammers, but something breaks. Not the relationship, the invisible rope. You didn't win. You just stopped betraying yourself. And a door inside opens half an inch wider. Where in your life is that one sentence waiting? Hear this with your whole body. The pressure you feel isn't malfunction. It's a calling. It says you've outgrown the mold that once saved you. The mask that carried you down crowded hallways now steals your breath. The shadow you were told to be ashamed of is actually a starved source of life, assertiveness, intuition, desire, put in the right place. The complexes that yank you backward are also maps pointing to where care is needed. Look at them without accusation and the cycle slows. Place one small, consistent no where the loop starts and the cycle can stop. What's your one small no today? Before you stop a cycle, you need a map. Which mask do you wear to keep the peace? Which shadow part do you avoid to protect an image? Which complex drops you to age 7 when you're supposed to be an adult? Ask yourself, what sentences write my current loop? I'm fine, it's nothing. I'll handle it. And what price am I paying? When honest answers surface, you realize you don't need a loud revolution, just a small, truthful movement repeated. If you live at American speed, moving fast, doing much, I'm good on autopilot. Slow, 10 seconds now. Hand on chest, feel the weight of your breath. Family stories don't vanish when we move states or change wrongs. They ride the heartbeat. They show up in overwork and choosing the same partner pattern and saying yes while your body says no. Your strength isn't more endurance. It's turning toward what keeps repeating and whispering, enough. What would enough sound like out loud for you? We're not here to prosecute our ancestors. We're here to water the roots with awareness. When you learn to tell mask from face-starved shadow, from integrable instinct, complex trigger from free choice, you don't abandon your family. You reshape the current. Some won't understand at first. That's okay. The quiet in your chest is your compass. Sleep changes color. The chase dreams ease. Your silence stops being collusion and becomes space. Can you let misunderstanding exist for a while so your truth can breathe? Ready to open the door a little more. In the next chapters, we'll track the markers that prove you were born, not to continue the old loop, but to finish it well. How to hear the sacred unrest when the old normal gets tight. How to recognize ancestral echoes without getting lost in superstition. How to stand indifferent without losing connection. How to declutter not just closets, but beliefs and roles. And how to keep your heart open after hurt without losing your shoreline. You'll get exact boundary sentences, short nervous system resets, and a simple ritual to return what no longer belongs to you. Which tool do you need first? Language, breath, or ritual? For now, inhale deep and exhale slow. If a part of you is whispering yes, trust it. That's the key you've carried all along. Next, we'll start with the first marker, the odd feeling of sitting among your own people and still feeling alone, and we'll turn it into a gate to clarity. If you've ever said, next time will be different, this is the next time. Walk on with me. Pause a second and scan your body at a quiet family dinner. The clink of cutlery, the recycled joke about the dependable kid if everyone chuckles, and you do too. But somewhere subtle, your right shoulder creeps up. Your lower belly holds the breath half a beat too long. Your eyes fix on a spot on the wall like there's a secret signal written there. That isn't drama, that's sacred unease. It's your soul whispering, this normal has gotten tight. Jung would call it the first spark of consciousness. The persona polite agreeable, never a bother has served so well it's constricting. The shadow below isn't a demon but starved life, straight talk justified anger, self-respect wanting to stand. And the complex and emotion-knotted theme needs only one look or line to yank you back into the old reaction. When those three collide, the cycle spins you shrug, say it's fine and spend guilt like currency to buy a few minutes of fragile peace. A Sunday scene and a new sentence. It's Sunday, you stop by your mom's after a long week. Tea is poured, the usual asks arrive. Can you swing by auntie's tomorrow to sort papers? And Wednesday, take grandma to the clinic. Your persona knows that here good means agree. The abandonment complex whispers, if I refuse, I'll be ungrateful. Your body tightens. Right there at the micro-tightening, sacred unease appears not to make you rebel, but to make you awake. If you honor it instead of smothering it, a tiny space opens between trigger and choice, enough space to change fate with a new line. Try this warm, clear, no blame with an alternative. Mom, I love you and I'm resting this week. I can help on Saturday from 10 to noon. Maybe the kitchen goes still for a beat. Your complex screams. What have you done? Look closely. You didn't push your mother away. You moved the plan so you wouldn't push yourself out of orbit. You didn't wreck the bond. You reset the rhythm so love doesn't have to run on depletion. This isn't rebellion, it's repair. 5 signs of toxic normal and 5 swap. In many families, harm isn't intentional, it's habitual. Watch for these tells. Silence is treated as compulsory consent. Guilt is used as fuel, just do a little more. Sacrifice means you have no personal needs. Jokes that shrink someone to keep the vibe light. Difference equals disloyalty. You're not at fault, you're running old software. But software can be updated. 5 healthy swaps you can start today. Lead with love and a boundary. I love you, and today I'm a no. Use I language I feel. I need, instead of you always. Offer a plan B with a clear window. Ask for time to consider instead of answering on reflex. Pause when your pulse spikes. End cleanly and schedule the return. Repeat for 30 days and watch the old flywheel wind down. Keep your body online. Words fail if your nervous system is blazing. Before and after you speak, plant both feet, feel your heels. Touch a table or mug. I'm safe here now. Name 3 things you can see clouds branch roofline. Breathe in 4 out 6 like easing a door shut. Jung's craft is holding opposites, truth and connection, soft and firm, long enough for a third thing to appear. You don't have to choose between love and honesty. You're learning to love by being honest. I don't want to hurt my mom. Beautiful, and it's where the cycle hides. If you avoid short-term discomfort by long-term self-erasure, the bond runs on fear, not life. Use the same structure across roles. Dad, I respect what you hope for, and I can't take more today. I can do slot. Siblings, I want to help, and I can only help within window. Boss, our symbolic family where persona shines, I'm committed to quality. The timeline needs an update. Part A, Thursday, Part B, Monday. All three share the spine, affirm the bond, state your need, offer a specific alternative. You're not asking permission to exist. You're offering accurate information and a doable promise. The night after your first no, shadow will replay the unsent lines. The complex will project disaster. Persona will draft an apology. Hand on heart, I'm learning a new language. Then a 3-line ritual. Event, I said no to X. Feelings anxious, 10. Relieved, 7:10. Needs sleep, 20. Min walk loving, text to mom tomorrow. If mom reacts, that's not failure, it's nervous system's meeting change. Use a bridge line. I know this feels new. Let's talk again tomorrow night. If she asks why open a small door, I've been agreeing on autopilot and burning out. I want to help sustainably, so I'm scheduling differently. Honest brief, no blame. Pocket card read in the morning. Popular difference, healthy. Don't make it a big deal difference. Your feelings are small. That old story. That story isn't funny for me anymore. Weaponized silence. Boundary silence. Pause now, return later. These aren't cold. They let fresh air in so love can breathe. Your turn. Our circle. Share one boundary sentence you'll try in the next 48 hours. Maybe, Mom, I love you and I'm resting this week. I can help on specific time. Writing it is a small promise to yourself. Reading others reminds you you're not alone. The tremor in your chest is a whole generation learning to love with a spine. Keep this image, same kitchen, same light on the table. Warm cup in hand, and among 1,000 old habits, a new sentence has just been spoken. No applause, no soundtrack, only fuller breath, a steadier heart, and a little to the side, a thin beam of light angled across the room. That's how cycles begin to close, not with explosions, but with truth woven into ordinary gestures. Next, we'll enter a subtler layer. Not every feeling in you belongs to your biography. Some griefs arrive without memories attached. We'll learn to tell ancestral echo from superstition, to witness rather than carry, and to turn sensitivity into a compass instead of a shackle. If something in you just nodded, keep walking. There's a gate up ahead, and I'll meet you there. When you touch a sadness that has no story of its own, don't call yourself weak or dramatic. Consider it an ancient frequency moving through your body, a quiet wave running along the family line looking for a place to be heard. Your personal soul isn't sealed inside a single lifetime. It's woven into larger patterns. That's why an old song can make your throat tighten. A vintage family photo can flood you with guilt you didn't earn, or a random afternoon can bring grief with no obvious cause. Sensitivity here isn't a problem. It's the antenna that lets you hear what's ready to be released. A 10-minute genogram emotional family map. Grab a blank page, set a timer for 10 minutes, and draw fast, truthfully, not beautifully. Minutes 1-2, sketch 3 generations, grandparents, parents, siblings, your children if any, squares for men, circles for women, single line for partnership, 2 slashes for divorce, dotted line for emotional distance, X through a shape if deceased. Minutes 3 to 4, jot emotional weather by each person, hot-tempered, silent, controlling, self-sacrificing, withdrawn, workaholic, anxious. No judgments, just the forecast. Minutes 5-6, mark repeating patterns with colors or symbols. Addiction, alcohol, work with shopping, chronic silence, over-caregiving, verbal aggression, persistent poverty, recurring illness, cyclical, divorce, parentified child family members who disappear. Minutes 7-8, circle knots, where lines cluster a taboo topic, a role that repeats, e.g., women carry everything a forbidden feeling. Next to each knot, write softly, I see you. Minute 9, beside your own name. Write, what am I repeating? What will I end? Minute 10, choose one micro move for the next 48 hours. A boundary line at you might a gentle call, an hour of sleep, an unsent letter written at last. When the timer ends, you have a map not to accuse, but to orient. 2 deepening questions. Which sadness do I feel that has no personal story? Write 1 sensory line, heavy chest, hollow, belly, tight throat. Don't explain, just name. If I stop repeating today, who gets free first? Let a face appear, your inner child and elder, maybe someone not yet born. Hand on heart. Whisper their name. Your trembling will understand why you're here. A safe write and release ritual with non-fire options. Safety first, only proceed where it's permitted and properly prepared. If any part feels unsafe, use a no-flame alternative. If using fire heat safe bowl or metal tray, a cup of water nearby, window open or step outside, no wind. Keep papers far from curtains or flammables. If fire is restricted, tear the paper into tiny pieces and dispose responsibly. Soak it in a bowl of salted water and pour it away, or bury the pieces in a plant pot, returning it to the soil. Write one page in a respectful tone. I name these burdens silence, guilt, carrying others' weight, and place them before my roots. Thank you for what kept us alive. Today I return what is no longer mine, so I can carry my part with light. Sign it. If using flame, burn gently. If it flares, press down with tongs or extinguish with the water. When ashes cool, hand to chest and say, I carry what is alive. The rest returns home. If you used a no-flame method, breathe out with each tear, then speak the same line as you release or bury the pieces. Rituals aren't magic. They give the psyche a hinge to change states. A small story. Elena, 34, Latina, has been the good daughter, translator, crisis manager since age 12. Her genogram shows 3 repeats. Men withdraw, women carry everything. Silence is golden. In the write and release, she returns the crisis manager role and keeps compassion. A week later at dinner, eyes turn to her to decide an uncle's money issue. She says, I love everyone and I'm not the decider here. I'll contribute, beyond that, I'm out. The room stalls. That night, her sister texts, your sentence saved me. A month later, her mother cries for the first time about how she once wished to say no. Truth spreads like a new habit. You never know who is waiting for your one clear line to breathe again. Community practice, our warm circle. In the comments, share one symbol from your genogram. 3 generations of women overcarry long silences, and 1 micro move you'll try within 48 hours. A simple mantra is enough. I return the role of carrying for others. I keep compassion. When you write it, you're not alone. Someone will recognize themselves in your map. If you want to go further, subscribe each week. We'll do a tiny genogram drill, a safe ritual, and 1 new boundary sentence, stones on the path home. Is this ancestral listening or superstition? Check the afterfeel. If you feel a little lighter, act more kindly, and your boundaries get clearer without theatrics, that's transformation. If you find yourself hunting villains, splitting the family into saints and sinners, or spiraling in blame, come back to the present. Eat a warm meal. Walk 15 minutes, call a friend or book a therapist if heavy memories surge. We're not here to mythologize pain. We're here to unspell repetition with presence. Quiet ripple. You're not tasked with doing the whole family's work. Just choose differently where you stand. Each time you speak a boundary without sharpness, pause to breathe before replying or return an expectation that doesn't fit you. Shift the riverbed. Soon the chase dreams ease, family gatherings flood less, and you choose partners not to fix an old wound, but to walk as 2 adults. Sometimes the miracle is ordinary. A long silent aunt calls to share her story. An uncle drinks less at reunions. A child laughs more because the grown-ups carry less tension. You didn't save anyone. You just moved a rock from the stream and the water did the rest. Before you go, return to the 2 whispers. What sadness do I feel that has no personal story? If I stop repeating today, who gets free first? Write 2 short answers. Snap a photo of your genogram, and if safe, share a corner with the community. Every map you post is a lamp for someone else. Every ritual you practice teaches your body a new way to live. You probably know this feeling from way back. You're standing in a crowded living room. Laughter all around, but it's like you're on the other side of the glass. People say, you're too sensitive, don't overthink it, so you learn to wear the mask that fits the house. And yet beneath that smile, something keeps whispering. I was born to live differently, not to keep playing a role. In Jung's language, when the soul starts finding its center, different isn't a defect, it's a compass. It doesn't pull you away from the people you love. It teaches you to love them without abandoning yourself. Picture a weekend family meeting, stable job. Talk. We should do it this way because we always have. You nod, but inside a new vibration rises. Maybe a career pivot, a slow life pace, even a move to another city. Your persona hisses. Don't ruin the mood. Your shadow flares. Tell the truth. A complex around rejection presses the button. Heart rate climbs, throat goes dry. This is where most people either collapse back into the old script or explode and scorch the bond. There's a third way in individuation, holding the tension between honesty and attachment long enough for a new form to appear. That requires a very ordinary, almost holy skill, regulating your nervous system. Here's a 60-second window of tolerance mini protocol, how you shift from being pulled to choosing yellow light pause. No rebuttal, no speech. Place your palm on the table or the rim of a glass, drop an anchor, and say silently, I'm safe. 4 to 6, breath, inhale for 4, exhale for 6. Repeat 4-6 rounds, letting the longer exhale crack the pressure valve. 5 sense orienting a name, 5 things you see, 4 you can touch, 3 sounds, 2 smells, 1 taste. You're reminding your body, we're here now, not back then. When your pulse drops a notch, then speak short, clear with edges, and no blame, like placing a smooth stone in the stream. When you can keep those 60 seconds different, stops cutting things apart, and starts opening a walkway between two shores. Truth and belonging. To help you cross, here are 3 bridge sentences you can use with the people closest to you. Each one says, I'm different, and keeps a hand on the relationship. Bridge 1 with parents. Oh, well, Dad, I'm different, and I'm still here. I'm overloaded if I add more this week, so I'm choosing to rest. I can help Saturday 10 to noon. Swap you always, never for I feel I choose. That's the language of sovereignty, not accusation. Bridge 2 with siblings. I'm different, and we're still family. I get irritable with last-minute plans, so I'm choosing to plan early. Let's each take a piece and lock it by Wednesday. I'll handle the shopping. Different process disloyalty. It protects the bond from erosion. Bridge 3 with a partner. I feel unsafe when plans change without notice. I'm choosing to keep our space safe by agreeing beforehand. Since we're committed, let's stay in tonight. We'll do the city date next weekend. Short, warm, and steady, that's a heart with a spine. Worried they'll be upset. Maybe. People love inertia the most. It feels like safety. Dita. Discomfort isn't proof you're wrong. It's proof a new form is being born. Measure by the after. When the wave passes, are you closer? Are you acting less? Is your sleep deeper? If yes, you're on the right road. A small story. J29, eldest child in the Midwest, the go-to fixer. Any last-minute ask and he'd say yes, then pay for it with his body. One Friday, the group wants a weekend project. His thumb hovers over sure. He remembers the 60 seconds, looks at his hand, runs 4 to 6 a few rounds, and texts, I need the weekend to rest. I'm choosing not to take more. I'm free Tuesdays 7 to 9 p.m. to review the doc. Someone quips, Jay's picky now. He almost jokes back, then stops. That night, he sleeps deeply for the first time in months. 3 days later, a friend DMs, thanks for saying no. It let me ask for a lunch break. Truth travels. You don't know who your one clean sentence will pull back to shore. Join our circle drop. One bridge sentence you'll use this week in the situation you'll use it in. If you've ever left your window of tolerance racing, heart-numb body, and used 4-6 to come home, tell us how it went. Your line is a trail marker for someone walking behind you. How do I know if I'm rebelling from hurt or speaking honestly because I grew up? Listen to your language. Rebellion hunts an enemy. Honesty seeks rhythm. Rebellion wants to win. Honesty wants you both to have a seat. If your voice is getting shorter, clearer, warmer, I feel. I choose. I propose. You're maturing, not leaving home. Before we close practice, once the next time you feel different, give yourself those 60 seconds. Then speak one bridge line. Don't chase the perfect sentence. Chase the tempo. If you miss the beat, apologize and say it again. That's also a bridge. That night, jot 3 lines, what I felt, what I chose, what shifted even a little. These tiny lines stitch you to the larger map. Individuation isn't made of speeches. It's made of right-sized sentences at the right time. Next up, you may already be sensing a call to clean house, not just closets, but old vows of silence, worn-out roles, and emotional debts You no longer want to pay with your life. I'll give you a simple 7-day path belief inventory, an active imagination with your inner gatekeeper, and a ritual for returning expectations that aren't yours. If this gave you a deeper breath, come with me around the bend. The room is about to get brighter and the old mask light enough to set down without dropping anyone. The call to cleanse almost never arrives with fireworks. It's subtle. One morning you touch a shirt that belongs to an old roll. One late night, your phone glows like a forest of fireflies and your heart feels tired. A conversation ends and your throat still tastes like a yes you didn't want to say. In Jung's language, that's your life energy turning back towards center, asking to separate from forms that have expired. Cleansing here isn't trend minimalism or a dramatic cutoff. It's reordering, so what's alive can breathe and what's complete can be returned with thanks. Walk this simple 7-day schedule with me, a small bridge from cramped to spacious. Days 1-2. Inventory beliefs and invisible loyalties label. Whose is this? Give this journey its own notebook. Title the page, Sentences I've Believed. Let your pen outrun your thinking. You may be surprised what surfaces family-flavored lines like, doing more means loving more. Don't bother anyone. Good people are always available. Sacrifice equals kindness. Success means never being weak. Next to each sentence, write honestly, whose mom? Dad, church, a season of scarcity and old fear. By writing whose, you gently separate belief from identity. Then ask, still true for me today? If yes, write, I keep it. If no, write, I thank it and return it. If unsure, write, I'll try again for 30 days. If a lump rises in your throat, hand on chest and whisper, I'm not betraying anyone by choosing what serves life. Days 3-4. Reset your environment, things, numbers. People, 3 columns. We are creatures of context. Loops often persist not because you're weak, but because your environment drags you back to the old play. For 2 days, make a gardener's round through your life. Things, closet, desk, bookshelf. Numbers, calendar blocks. Notifications, social media minutes, weekly yes count. People, relationships. Draw 3 big columns. Keep truly feeds you. Keep with conditions, you still want it. If one change is made, e.g., check email only in 2 windows. See this group bi-weekly. Keep the jacket if it's tailored. Release no longer carries life. Donate, sell, delete, or box for 30 days to verify. Use a 25-minute timer and pick tiny zones, 1 drawer, the home screen, a group chat. For each item, ask, what does this plant in me, light or heaviness? Move it accordingly. With numbers, face the calendar. How many commitments are fear-driven? Can you move 1, cancel 1, and keep 1 with conditions, with people? This isn't a blacklist, it's a boundary thermometer. Who leaves you more alive after meeting? Who do you love but need distance to love well? Who have you been carrying instead of standing beside? These columns don't stamp anyone. They just rearrange chairs in your room. Days 5, Shakusin. Active imagination with the gatekeeper. Your inner permission giver. In every personal myth, there's a gatekeeper, the one who grants passage. It might appear as a bright-eyed elder, a nun with keys, a gentle guard, a quiet animal. Meet this figure through Jung's active imagination, a conscious dialogue with the unconscious. Choose a quiet time, 10-15 minutes. Silence notifications. Sit upright, breathe 4 in, 6 out. A few rounds, close your eyes and picture a gatewood iron or a ring of light. Walk toward it, notice material, color, ambient sound. When the gatekeeper arrives, don't control. Greet them like family. I've come to ask permission to live more truly. Then ask 3 questions. What am I carrying that's no longer mine? What must I return before I pass through? Which key must I take with me? Don't force answers. Let images, words, or sensations arrive like light rain, a bag of stones, old expectations, a rope, guilt, a pen, choice, a paper, a vow to yourself. Speak it aloud, I return. I carry. Open your eyes and jot a few lines. Repeat tomorrow. The gatekeeper will hand you small, precise gifts. That's how the unconscious shakes hands with consciousness. Day 7. Ritual of returning energy. Give back expectations. Reclaim choice. Choose a safe space. If using fire, prepare a heat-safe bowl, keep water nearby, and avoid flammables. Otherwise, use a no-flame option. Tear to pieces, soak in salted water, or bury in a plant pot. Draw 2 columns on the left. Expectations you've worn, always available. Save your child, tireless, employee, miracle. Partner. On the right, the choices you're claiming, the listener to my body. Honest child, employee with limits. Co-creating partner. Read each line softly. I return the expectation of, with gratitude for how it once helped me survive. I receive the choice of, so I can live true. If using fire, touch the page to the flame carefully and drop it in the bowl. If not, tear and soak with salt. Hand on heart, I belong to my life. Rituals don't cast spells, they close mental open loops so you can stand somewhere solid when you choose. How you'll know it's working. The win isn't the number of items you tossed or hours you freed. It's the felt sense of a door in your chest opening a half inch. Weekends stop posing as sprint deadlines. Notifications rest inside the hours you promised yourself. Dinner goes back to being dinner, not a meeting. And strangely, when you stop carrying others' parts, others start to move. Not all, not instantly, but enough to prove that hope runs on order, not illusion. Our circle, real companionship. Share one belief you labeled who's on days 1, 2, and 1 keep with conditions. You're adjusting on days 3, 4, e.g. Keep family chat with notifications off after 9 p.m. If you met your gatekeeper, describe one image you received: a key, a letter, a chord, so others see how quietly the unconscious speaks. When you share, you plant a seed for someone else to begin. When you read, you remember you're not the only one rearranging the furniture of a life. If heavy memories surge, pause the schedule kindly. Call someone safe, eat a warm meal. Walk beneath trees and consider seeing a therapist if waves get strong. Cleansing isn't tolerate more pain, it's live more gently. Your body is an ally, not a mule. About the empty space that follows. Won't the emptiness scare me after I clear things out? Maybe. But emptiness is the womb of new form. Next, we'll practice the most delicate art of all, keeping your heart open after hurt. An openness that doesn't leak with fences and warmth. Where kindness no longer equals self-erasure, and strength doesn't require turning to stone. I'll give you soft titration practices to touch pain in tiny doses and return to safety. Bridge sentences that tell the truth without burning bridges, and markers that you've stepped off the shore of repeating and onto the shore of living. If you're ready for a heart that can say yes to love and no to depletion, stay with me. The road ahead is quiet, a small ribbon of light lengthening across the floor each morning, wider with every breath. There's a kind of courage that never raises its voice, a heart that stays open after it's been hurt. Not wide open and leaking open with fences, gentle with a spine. In Jung's terms, that's the moment Eros connection and Logos clarity stop competing and begin to marry inside you. You no longer choose between truth and love. You learn to speak truth as an act of love. To walk that path, 2 small skills quietly change the rails of your life: titration, touching emotion in tiny safe doses, and a 3-step frame for being open with boundaries. Start where your body actually is, not where you wish it were. You can look at someone you love and feel 2 tides at once, one pulling you closer, one pulling you into your shell. Both are signs of life. What do you do when your heart wants to open and your history whispers shrink? You titrate. You touch the ache at 10-30%. Then you return to safety, like swimming from the shore to the buoy and back. A little each time, steadily repeated. Try it now right where you are. Close your eyes a few seconds and name one prickly scene, a sentence, a look, a quiet evening that stung. Touch it only 10-30% enough to know it, not enough to drown. The moment your chest tightens, come back to shore. Breath, inhale 4, exhale 6 for 4 to 6 rounds. Object touch, something with weight and texture, a ceramic mug, desk edge. Notice cool, warm, smooth, rough. Body anchor, 1 hand on chest, 1 on belly. Imagine both hands as warm packs. Then touch the memory again, 10-30% and return. Go out and back 3 to 5 times, the gentle pendulum therapists call pendulation. The miracle isn't toughing it out. It's your nervous system learning that pain has edges and that you can come home now without replaying yesterday's storm. After a few weeks, you will notice a small shift. The old joke still makes your heart wobble, but it no longer cracks. You have enough space to choose the next sentence instead of being yanked by it. Titration keeps you from being swept away. The next tool keeps you from springing leaks. Write these 3 words on a card or your lock screen. Need, boundary. Option 3 pillars that let love stand upright. Name the need. I need is humble and adult. It doesn't attack anyone. It takes responsibility for your body. State the boundary. So I will light. A boundary isn't barbed wire. It's the outline of life. Offer an alternative. I propose. Love doesn't stop at no. It looks for a workable way. A very everyday example, your partner wants to go out after an intense week, but you're exhausted. You breathe 4 to 6, touch the table, then say, I need a quiet night at home to recharge. So I won't go to the bar tonight. I propose a movie night here, and next weekend we'll do a city date. If they frown, you don't counterattack. You breathe and repeat the rhythm, need, boundary, option. A minute later, the room settles, not because you won, but because you gave the relationship a tempo. Family of origin, use a softer version. Parents, I need rest this weekend, so I won't help Auntie tomorrow night. I propose stopping by next Saturday, 10:12. Siblings, I need early planning, so I won't take last-minute tasks. I propose dividing jobs by Wednesday. Work, I need to protect quality, so I won't launch over the weekend. I propose timeline, a thu and be mon. Each line keeps the heart open. You still want connection and keeps the outline intact. You want connection that survives. Remember, open doesn't mean expose everything. Jung asks us to hold the tension of opposites until a third form appears. In practice, that sounds like sharing enough to build rhythm, not enough to make the other carry your history. Instead of spilling every wound, try. When that old story comes up, I feel myself shrinking. I'm going to pause 10 minutes, then continue. I'd like to change the topic tonight. Short, warm, clear. You haven't weaponized memory. You've turned the present into a place you can actually live. A 7-day tune-up so open with fences becomes muscle memory. Daily micro reps once a day. Pick one small interaction. Text, call, ask. Before replying, titrate for 30 to 60 seconds. 4 to 6 breath. Touch an object, hand to chest. Write 3 lines, then speak them. My need is, my boundary is, my option is. Say it just like you wrote it. No extra defense, no trimming the truth. Nightly reflection. 3 sentences. How did I keep my heart present? What was hardest? What changed even a little? If you snap or freeze, don't turn it into a verdict on you. Do a micro repair. I spoke too fast. I want to step back. What I meant was, repair isn't a hollow, sorry. It's how you return to someone without abandoning yourself. You might be watching from a fast city, New York, Houston, Seattle, where motion is the favorite drug. The heart isn't anti-motion. It's anti-being dragged. Titration is the anchor. Need boundary option is the map. And our circle is the companionship. If it's safe, share one situation you'll use the 3 steps in over the next 72 hours and name your safety source: breath, object, or body anchor. You're not showing off. You're etching a thin line on the road home. Someone will read your line and realize their heart is learning the same language. How will I know when I'm open enough, not too much? A gentle indicator after you speak, can your body exhale? Does sleep soften that night? Do you feel a hair closer to the other person, or at least closer to yourself? If yes, you're aimed right. If not, lower the dose, touch only 10%. Practice the 3 steps by text before speaking live, or move the conversation to another day. If the waves are big, bring in a therapist. That's not weakness, it's wisdom. Keep this image you at your doorway on a quiet night, palm resting on warm wood. Inside are the people you love. Outside, a moving wind. You don't slam the door and you don't pull off the hinges. You ease it, then open it just right enough for people to enter by their names, not by pressure. That's the look of a heart that has learned to stay open with fences. When we arrive here together, I want you to pause for a beat, like a traveler resting on a riverbank after a long road, and recognize that what you just did wasn't merely watch a video. You let a small truth step into your home, sit down, and change the room's breathing. From the sacred unease with cramped normalcy, to the echo of the ancestors, to the feeling of, I'm different, yet still woven in through days of cleansing and learning to open a heart with boundaries. None of this was meant to turn you into someone else, but to return you to your center. At that center, the persona can stop straining, the shadow gets a seat at the table, the complexes stop tugging you out of the present, and life begins to speak in your own sentences. If there are three small principles to carry like three pocket stones, they're these. First, choose presence before choosing a plan. When your heart surges, 60 seconds of 4-6 breathing and a hand on an anchor point can save an entire conversation. Second, choose honesty before convenience, a short line. I feel I propose can open doors that a long explanation might shut. Third, choose gentle order over noise. A small, repeated micro movement, one well-placed, no, a simple ritual, a promised bedtime kept, is what shifts the river's course. These principles don't demand strength, they invite clarity. And clarity in a very Jungian way is kindness that has grown up. If at the beginning you felt like the latecomer of your family, now you can look back and see no one is late when they're on their own road. Some loved ones may not be fluent yet in the new language you're speaking. You don't need to convince anyone. You only need to keep the rhythm. It begins with small things. Silence notifications after 9 p.m. Keep one free evening per week. Call your parents when you can be truly present. Place a hand on your chest before you answer a request. Rewrite a belief and add the note. Whose is this? In time, like every persistent current, it carves a new riverbed. I want to gift you a light closing ritual to end the old cycle and open a new one, not with fireworks, but with a warm kitchen light at day's end. Tonight, make a cup of tea. Place a blank page before you. Write a single sentence. I end living from the fear of being abandoned. I begin living from my bond with the truth. Sign it. Fold the paper in thirds. Touch it to your chest. Whisper a beloved name. It could be your own childhood name. If it feels safe, tuck the paper into a book you love. No burning, no grand oath. Let silence be the right from now on walk as someone who knows they belong first and foremost to themselves. Before we part, I'd like to hear your voice. In the comments, write one of three things, a boundary sentence you'll use in the next 48 hours, a repeating pattern you just named in your genogram, or safe resource you'll choose for titration, breath object, or body anchor. Keep it brief, like placing a small pebble on the riverbank to mark a past here. When you share, you clear the path for those who come after. When you read, you'll feel yourself walking among a quiet, steady company. If this video meets you right where you stand, stay with us, tap subscribe and the bell. So each week you receive a small practice card, a sentence, a breath, a simple ritual. Not to do more, to do what matters. You might send this to a friend learning to say no without breaking love. Perhaps it's the gift they've been waiting for. I know there will be days you step back, speak a little sharply, or nod yes by habit. That's okay. The way home has never been a straight line. Each time you notice and soften, a little more light comes onto the road. Keep this image with you. A green door inside you has been ajar throughout this video. Inside a wooden table, a pen and a page that bears your name. No one else can write the final line for the old cycle. But you are not writing alone. Behind you stand those who loved you the best way they knew how, and ahead are those who will love you in the way you're learning now. Between those shores, you are the bridge. Thank you for trusting me with these minutes of your life. If a line here helped you exhale more deeply, keep it like a seed in your pocket. Tomorrow, if you hear that sacred unease call, again, smile at it. It's not here to bother you. It's here to invite you back to the small things you've learned. 60 seconds of presence, 3 steps of honest speech, 1 cleansing gesture, 1 embrace for the part of you that used to live from fear. That's enough. From there, life will take care of the rest. When you're ready, I'll meet you in the next video where we'll go deeper into dreams as the language of the soul and how to ask your dreams specific questions for your boundaries, your love, your work. It will be a beautiful road reading the letters your unconscious writes you every night and answering with a wakeful life. For now, just 1 breath in as if greeting a sunrise, out as if setting down a suitcase you have carried too long. You are still you, only lighter and truer.